resurrected in an age of strife. From the ashes, the tangent grows as kings are crowned, a new beginning flows. Disgusting, tangent kings, a new age, as stories sing. Disgusting, glows and grows, tangent kings reforged in stars. Oh, reforged in stars. Yeah, yeah. After many years left to die, rediscovered for it to rise. The network finds a gem to forge anew, to shine again. Once the dragon rose, as the slayer froze, all the tangents close. Once the dragon slows, as the slayer pose, tangents reforged in prose. Disgusting, tangent kings, a new age, a story sing. Disgusting, glows and grows, tangent kings reforged in soul. Disgusting, tangent kings, a new age, a story sing. Disgusting, glows and grows, tangent kings reforged in souls. Discussion does now mow, things do now grow, tangents now soar. Disgusting, tangent kings, a new age, a story sing. Disgusting, glows and grows, tangent kings reforged in soul. Disgusting, tangent kings, a new age, a story sing. Disgusting, glows and grows, tangent kings reforged in souls. Yeah, reforged in souls.
Woo! Okay, this time it worked. I love that intro. Welcome everyone to a beautiful Monday evening, morning, night, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for being here. My name is Helzo, and welcome to the 11th episode of DiscussThing's Tangent Kings. We went past 10. I will celebrate every single episode we are on the show because we know what's happening on YouTube. We will know what's happening everywhere. And every single show is a blessing. Also, today I want to quickly mention that we have a unique show because this is for the first time we are evenly split between regulars and special guests. We're 3-on-3, baby, 50-50, and we have opposite teams, or maybe two teams of two equal halves that are going to carry an amazing show. And we are going to be entertaining you. We're going to be discussing a lot of topics. We're going to be talking about interesting things all around that are happening in every soul and part of the world. That's what we do. That's what we're here for. And we're happy to have you here, our dear audience, our dear commentators, our dear people that are watching and taking their time of the day or night. Without any further ado, I would like to start with the presenting of the panel. We have the dignified cartoon gentleman. We have Jace as our regulars. We have TheDezembro. We have Smash JT back for the second time around. And we have Sabr here. It is good to see you all. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for being here from the bottom of my heart. Every time we gather around and we have a talk, it's amazing because that's how you make good connections on the internet with good people and awesome creators. And moving on, so we can start this show and we can start with the topics, I will go to the co-host and the mastermind behind a lot of the things, the dignified cartoon gentleman who is very static in his cartoonishly appearance this day. Hello, how have you been?
Breathe, Helzo. I know you're fanboying as a result of this event, but please relax. Everything will be fine and dandy. As dandy as your sailor suit, by the way. So it's great to. I know, it's secretly a cat because you're a cat lover, but it's great to see everyone here today. Thankfully, I had a good lie down, so my back wouldn't be aching because I can't sit in the same seat all day anymore without being in massive pain. I got a new microphone so it can lean closer to me so I don't have to sit forward. And thankfully, I have a rainbow keyboard, which means I am pro-gay, that allows me to type without leaning forward. Not bad for someone who is not even 30 yet. But it's great to see everyone. I hope you're all doing well, and I'm sure we're going to have a fantastic show. If you haven't already, like the stream, share the stream. Donations are always welcome. We only have Smash for a solid hour because he's a very busy man. He's so busy, he's on the move. He looks like he's been fighting a bear with that shirt on. But that's all right. It's all right. It's perfectly fine. We're going to catch up with the panel. Then, hopefully, if it's not too busy, we'll catch up with the chat, especially with the donations. And we're going to start off with, and I dare to say, the creator with the most potential on this panel. And no, it's not Smash. It's actually Dez. Dez, how you doing?
You're out of your mind. I've been playing, The Outer Worlds still, and I've been hating every second of it. And that's really all about it, really. There's going to be videos on it soon on my channel if anyone's interested in my misery. They're not going to be structured. They're not going to be, like a slow walk through the game. It's going to be bad. It's going to be filled with hate.
Good.
And because they destroyed everything that I loved about Obsidian. And as a casual enjoyer of The Outer Worlds 1, they destroyed everything about that too. So that's what you can look forward to on the channel. And that's what I've been doing.
This man undersells himself so much, folks. How do you get mass support? How do you get over 20,000 subs from less than 200 videos unless you ooze with quality and consistency? That's why I say Dez has the most potential out of anyone on this panel. That's why I say that, because the potential is, I dare to say, obscene in terms of what it can lead to. But now for our most criminally underrated guest on this panel, Mustafa. I always confuse your name with the planet, Mustafa.
Yeah, I'm a Star Wars planet.
How have you been?
Good. I'm good. I'm doing well. Busy doing all sorts of stuff. But as far as like my online presence go, I guess I got a channel. Do you want me to do an intro about myself, even though I did one last time, or?
Well, no, it's fine. Usually, because we like to keep these shows about 2 hours. You can just. How have you been?
Yeah, all right. Just
good.
Busy. That's basically it.
Good. This won't be my show in the long term, folks. I'm training people to run their own shows. And if you ask, well, how is this no-name cartoon of a content creator training other people to be show hosts? I can't tell you. It's classified. What about you, Jose? How have you been since we last had a good talk?
Well, busy, got a haircut, so I don't have to wear the Rumble hat to hide my head for the foreseeable future. I'm sure they're very disappointed. Hopefully, Chris doesn't flay me again.
It was very important to mention the Rumble hat.
Yes, I have to. I'm obligated to. That and Blue Chew, apparently. But that's besides the point. Just hanging in there, having a good time. Just sort of getting ready to get things done. New week, new problems, new bills. The EBT Americans are back in the stores, unfortunately. So doing shopping was kind of like the Royal Rumble today. And I'll be seeing my girlfriend a little later in the evening. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm all pain medicated and ready to roll.
Excellent. Folks,
is that what's needed? I'm kind of. Is that what's needed to meet your girlfriend?
Well, when you're as aggressive as she and I tend to be, yes. And I'll let your imagination figure that one out.
Good. Puerto Ricans, ladies and gentlemen. But I have to pay tribute to Jose because the guy works 3 jobs. All the money goes to his very attractive elderly mother. It's so much has to be poured in to his life. He is the model American citizen despite looking Mexican. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to catch up with Smash, who looks like he is hard at work despite being on a panel show.
It never ends. I just noticed that I'm blocked by Eurogamer, which is curious because if anything, I've given them more props than any other outlet over the years. But they're also the same outlet that ran with the Jeff Grubb story that was my story. And when I called them out for it, their response was to block me instead of apologize, which curious. So that's
which is a typical response for these guys.
no, exactly just to running high with their tail between their legs.
Well, guys, I gotta tell you, of all the creators on this panel, who has had the least eventful creator journey in the past 2 years, it's Smash JT by a country mile. He's been smooth sailing, having a great time, going everywhere, making new friends everywhere.
Sir, did you bump your head, sir?
Many a times. Apparently.
Oh wait, that's the mirror dimension.
Yes.
In all seriousness, it is great to have Smash here, and it's been a few months since Smash has been on a network show. Any particular highlights you want to bring up over the past few months? Any highlights? I can't think of a better word.
Like in my personal life or in like
personal, creative, anything.
I mean, I just went to Back to the Future the other day at the movie theaters with my son, and I will tell you, from a father's perspective to the kid, I tried really hard to get my son to watch Back to the Future with me at the house. He wanted nothing to do with it, but having it back in the theaters, forcing him to be able to like sit and stare at the screen. He looked at me. He's like, "This movie's awesome." I'm like, "I know, dude. I've been trying to tell you." So we proceeded to, after watching that, coming home, he was like, "There's a sequel, right? You said." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can we watch that later?" I was like, "Well, tomorrow we can watch it." So on Saturday, we watched the second one, and at the end of the second one, it says "to be continued," And he looks at me and he goes, "There's a third?" I go, "Yeah, there's a third one." He goes, "How many are there?" I go, "There's just 3. Can we watch the third one right now?" I was like, right after the second one, you just want to sit here for another 2 hours for a third one? He goes, "Yeah, this is my son who can't sit still for 5 seconds, wants to sit and watch 2 more movies." So we watched Back to the Future 2 and then Back to the Future 3 back to back. And I turned to him and I said, "Do you know when I was your age and these movies were coming out, we had to wait like a full year for the next one. You're like, oh, next one, just put it on now." I'm like, "You have it so good. You have it so good."
Yeah,
that's what
great.
Smash. How could you not show him the reboot of 2016?
You talking about the game?
That's
the
Ghostbusters,
game?
isn't it?
No, the Ghostbuster. Oh, right. That's
No, Back to the Future. Back to the Future is the only one that's.
I'm so confused, Des. I'm so confused.
I fucking forgot that was Ghostbusters, dude.
It's a good job you did that on this show instead of a more prominent one.
Zemeckis basically said, in terms of Back to the Future reboot, "over my dead body," and I'm terrified for when he passes
When
away.
he dies, yeah.
His body won't be cold in the ground before they bring out some obese black lesbians.
Well, the problem with wanting to reboot Back to the Future is it holds up so well right now that there's no reason to make a reboot. Just watch it again. It's perfect.
Many of them did, and they did it anyway.
No reason for any continuation of Ghostbusters or a reboot or anything.
Well, yeah, true.
They do it because it's good.
Well,
If they reboot it, the plot would be about sitting in the back of sitting in the front of the bus and not getting up to the white man.
Like, or if it's a modern audience, they're not gonna use the DeLorean, they're gonna lose a lorry because of the protagonist is so weight.
They're gonna use a Jaguar.
No, they'll use Jaguar. I was gonna say a Volkswagen, the new Volkswagen Bug.
I can tell this panel is gelling so well, but I don't want to ignore our audience. All of
Wait,
you
I'm
great
not done. Hold on, audience. Wait.
Oh my goodness. The celebrity is telling us what to do. Wait, I heard Razor Fist ended your career 7 months
Did.
ago.
That's why I only have 1 hour. I got to go to work at IKEA after this. No, I got as far as Ghostbusters, I wanted to say one quick thing. Afterlife was awesome. And what was it? Frozen. What was the one after that? Frozen something.
Kingdom Empire.
Frozen Empire.
Yeah.
Oh, that was decent enough. Like the reboots of Ghostbusters ever since the All Chick Squad have been pretty good. I have not watched the All Chick Squad, nor will I ever watch that one.
No,
But-
don't please. Like,
Yeah.
for the sake of your own sanity, do not. Trust
But
me on that.
Afterlife was good though. I like that one.
Yeah, Afterlife was actually quite the good, but it should have ended with Afterlife, in my opinion. Like Afterlife was good as a okay, let's do one more. Let's erase 2016 from our minds and just end it there.
I
And
don't
it's
know.
all-
I don't know. I feel like Ghostbusters is different from Back to the Future because Back to the Future deals with time travel,
Yeah.
and every time you make a new one, it makes it overcomplicated and you start to lose it.
Yeah.
Whereas you can kind of move forward with Ghostbusters if you do it right. And I feel like they did that, and that is a property. I feel like if they keep pushing forward, they could do something special with it. So I don't know. But anyway,
Just please no more Melissa McCarthy, please.
Oh yeah, God no, God no.
We don't want obese women in things, but we do want your money. So thank you to the Independent Courier for a $2 donation, in which you say the following: Smash JT and the Decembro live. It's Christmas every day. I tell you this, folks.
That's something to remember, by the way.
I don't know if this is true anywhere else, rather, but this is the only show, and our Thursday network show, that Des ever wants to be on. So, yay! That's
Just
good.
real quick too, since I'm on here with Des, I wanted to say I'm a big fan of his channel, so it's cool to be on a panel with him.
Oh, where's all this coming from? I'm a retard who makes videos on.
No. I'm the retard. I even say it in my Twitter bio. You can't take that from me. I'm the retard.
I try to tell him, guys. I
Well,
try to tell Des all the time that you've got the makings to be a vanguard leader in our space. He doesn't believe me. If he ever did a show of his own, it would be an instant success. He can't believe it. I'm trying to manipulate. Professionally guide him to having.
You got more confirmation on this show just now from what
I'm just trying to get Smash to give me the retard pass so I can put it on my profile as well.
I am not the moral arbiter of retards. If you feel like you're a retard enough,
We gotta talk to David Jeffy then.
Exactly.
It's a free
He will dub you
retard
with that,
title.
yeah.
Everybody can get it.
Well, thank
There's
you
enough
again to
retard
the
for everyone.
Independent. Well, thank you again to the Independent Courier for another $2 donation.
Thank you, man.
Saying, I know who you are. Yes, I know who Jose is too. God bless and keep going. And thank you to Pre-Dawn Corpse. What a name for a channel.
Pre-Dawn comes the legend.
Saying to Helzo, Review Tech USA ate his daughter's eyes. Considering his obesity problem, I would not be surprised.
Oh, he had a meltdown over Smash on Facebook earlier. That was just embarrassing.
He did. It was amazing. It was so beautiful to read, and I read the comments.
Well, if he keeps melting down, he might lose some weight. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, takes one to know one, folks. I have a body very similar to Review Tech USA. It's a lot hairier, and I'll never show it on camera, which shows that I have tact, for lack of a better term. So the first
on
topic,
that Facebook post though, I think it's funny how his entire audience is completely turned against him now. Like, like it's not even like just stop, bro. Just stop. Everyone's telling you, like, take a fucking hint, man. I don't know what else.
No, if I was on Facebook, I would write the comment, dude, Ozempic's a hell of a drug. It can work wonders for you, and it could save your life. Apart from the nausea.
But he
BRB going to
cannot save
Facebook.
his career. It cannot save his career.
But thank you to the thank you to the Independent Courier for being a new member of Helzo's channel. I got to move my mic to write down the timestamp because
I just want to
one thing
mention
that
real
never-
quick, it's already in the chat, but like just so for the honesty for everyone, because my channel deals with me growing as a creator, I'm trying to become full-time. And also on the same page, I also help homeless animals at animals in shelters. We feed a lot of homeless cats and dogs around the house. We help shelters both in Bulgaria, in Europe, and in the United States as well. We have already helped a little some, and it basically comes from YouTube. So thank you very much for your donations. Just so you know that they're going for what I think is a very, very good cause. Thank you. And we have another one.
And just to let everyone know, none of the animals we help get electrocuted by the authorities.
Exactly.
Thank you.
No,
to
they
the
do not. They get fluffies.
Well, thank you to the Independent Courier again for $2, saying I joined. Decembro is a solid guest to have. We have him every binary fortnight. So we have him every fortnight, oscillating between Mondays and Thursdays. You could say he's the most binary person around. So the first...
I just want to make it clear that I am not going to be playing Fortnite with you guys.
Good. To me, there's nothing worse than streamers playing with each other online. There's nothing worse.
Pause.
Yeah, I know.
We have a question, a green question for Smash, by the way.
What's up?
Saint Hugo is here for the €5 and saying, Smash, would you kindly explain to no one specific why aborting a Chrono Trigger, I don't know what's that about, is a crime against gaming itself? I will need some explanations on that.
I need more background on what they mean by that. But
you see, guys, Germans are so efficient that we don't understand their efficiency. So, in regards to the first, thank you for your donation, Saint
Thank
Hugo.
you, Saint Hugo.
The first topic, which I find very funny, is something completely out of the blue. It's not a pop culture topic at all, but it will connect to one. And I think this is going to carry the hour, folks.
Well, real quick, just to touch on that Chrono Trigger comment before we move on from it.
Sure.
It's a great game. And I think they might be referencing, if they remake it, which I assume is what they're talking about, to not. To which I say, I hope they do. And if it sucks, always got the original to play. So I'm never against rebooting stuff. I'm really not. People always cry about that all the time, even in TV shows and movies. Like, say they even did Back to the Future again and be like, if it sucks, be like, all right, just watch the OGs and forget. Same with the Ghostbusters girls. It sucks. Just ignore it. Like that's how it works.
I just want to let the people know, folks, that the Australian authorities have arrested a guy for throwing a spear at the police. And
I think this sticker is very nice. I don't know if you see it. It's a banana, and I think we can
Can we ask the dignified gentleman?
God.
Do we have a picture of the individual in question?
No, unfortunately, because they're not releasing pictures because it's Australia. But I am trying to find the link in question, folks. And I'll make this clear right here, right now, that what was controversial a year ago is normal today. Okay, folks, I'm just going to share my screen real quick because this isn't really something that's talked about. It's like, this news story on the other side of the world. Why does anyone give a damn about it? Well, let's have a look here, folks. Right? I'm going to zoom in real quick. And which it is courtesy of Smash. You know, since he's here, we might as well source him. Quote, who TF chucks spears? And my mentor was kind enough to respond, does he have to say?
Prophetic moment in
man.
history, ladies and gents, because
Right.
some of you know the story, some of you don't know the story, but this is prophetic.
Well,
He was ahead of the curve.
I can't really elaborate.
Absolutely. This was Nostradamus at its finest.
I can't really elaborate too much because our predecessor is well, it doesn't exist anymore, but our predecessor was a visionary and a great person, and without him none of this would be possible. Voldemort and all of these network shows are his horcruxes, but this is courtesy of Sky News Australia. Quote, a spear has been allegedly, because they have to say that because of the Aboriginal people, allegedly thrown at officers in a soured arrest in Sydney's southwest. As police reveal, one young officer is recovering in hospital after allegedly being stabbed during an altercation. Don't you mean speared?
Mhm.
Impaled.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a
Penetrated.
better-
Hit with the
better
sharp, pointy object.
Penetrated. Pause.
But the reason I bring this up, folks, right, is because I did find it very interesting. You know, it's been over a year since that whole Speargate controversy happened. I was just a passionate viewer, an outsider looking in, and I've always been of the mindset that thin skin doesn't win the mind, right? You got to have thick skin to do what we do. I just find it very intriguing, however, that the precedent has been set where if a large group of people, if an angry mob find a dark joke offensive, then they can ruin your career both in front of and behind the camera. And the reason I bring this up, speaking of someone who could potentially ruin his reputation, David Jaffe, ladies and gentlemen, recently made a dark joke about someone's grave
Well,
with an
hold on.
Xbox controller.
To ruin a reputation, you have to have one to begin with. So
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
That's a mic drop moment.
Shot
right
fired
there.
or spear chucked? Which one?
Oh,
spear
damn.
chucked.
But the controller
Spear
was
was
on
checked,
the Xbox controller was on the grave, and David Jaffe made it clear in an X post, this is an Xbox. Okay, I'll try to find the source directly. But Helzo, what do you make of that parallel in controversies?
Well, it's the same old thing. It's okay when one side do it. It's not okay when another side do it. So it's okay it's not okay for someone to make a spear joke,
Mhm.
even though it turned out to be true a year or so later.
Mhm.
But someone like David Jaffe can apparently make these jokes, and it's okay because he thinks, in my opinion, he still believes that he's on the right side of everything, and he has some power to dictate what is offensive and whatnot. And this is something that I really truly despise in a lot of people, especially from his surroundings, that they can say what they can try to mandate what you can say and what you cannot say, but nobody can do that to them. Nobody. You cannot go and say, okay, so this is not okay, but for you this is okay. Yeah, there is it.
Absolute double standards.
It's such a double standard. It's such a double standard. It's such a dishonest behavior, and it's even enhanced because he's always getting very angry, very disgruntled and stuff like that. Oh, but they're saying all these horrible things. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? And what is he saying? And then he makes that joke. Which, let's be honest, in a more normal world, like in a more friendly world, this could have been what he later tried to explain that it's just a dumb joke. Yeah, you could have probably passed that on, but in that
No. I'd step in and say, in this world, he could do that, except for he is someone who his past precedes him, and he's someone that takes offense to trans jokes and draws lines where you're allowed to make humor and where you're not, and then does something like this, and it's like, well, how is this fucking okay? But the other stuff isn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who made David Jaffe the moral arbiter of this shit? So all of his stances fall flat now, because if he does something like this, it's like, so what the fuck do you stand for? So you do want to be edgy only when it's acceptable edgy for David Jaffe.
I mean,
Here's the post in question. I always like giving visual examples, folks, because many creators can say things and
you bought me
not
my
bring
first
things
Xbox,
up, which is perfectly fine. But it's there in black and white. Yes, Jaffa Cake did, I believe, delete it and then double down by making a statement on X, trying to fuel the fires of the controversy. But I do think it's very interesting that when someone on our side of the aisle who has a history of being controversial says something controversial that's potentially career-ending, But when one of the opposition say something particularly controversial, who doesn't really have much of a recent history of doing it, okay, maybe 20 years ago when Jaffe had a reputation, he did, but it just goes to show the two-faced nature of the opposition. Jose, what do you make of all this?
Well, the thing that bothers me about this is when you think about it, how many people on their side of the cultural aisle lost their channels or got canceled or got removed for derogatory comments about Charlie Kirk post the death of Charlie Kirk. I mean, even on Halloween, we saw these people posting pictures of costumes of what happened to the man. Not a peep. But they'll get mad at you if you dress like a Native American. If you wear a costume like that on Halloween. It's that whole double standard that they have. They can say whatever they want about whoever they want. They can be as rude as they want. They can be as derogatory as they want because they have the correct, sanitized opinions on the culture that everybody else does. And anybody who questions that, the minute you question that, you're out. We can't allow you to make any jokes or comments on anything, because we're just going to find it offensive because we don't like you. We don't like what you say. We don't like what you represent. We don't like your content. And we're just going to use any means necessary to get you out of here. And that's unfortunately the textbook playbook that these people adhere to.
Yep. It's very sad. It's very unfortunate. All you have to do, folks, is just make a bad joke once on our side, and they will tear you to pieces, right? Mm-hmm. But someone like Jaffe, he can say this, he can double down on it. Yep, he'll get plenty of criticism on X, but I'm sure he won't be wiped out because of it. Go ahead, Helzo.
Well, they're still considered in the mainstream of things, and like they're trying to set the trend, and we're the ones who have to live up to the standard, and we're the ones who are constantly under monitoring. Although in real life it's entirely different, because on the social side, on the people side of things, we're the ones who call them out for their abhorrent behavior. But on the from the, let's say, an industry side, from major outlets, they're being the ones who are still defended mostly, and still people who don't do even half as controversial things as what we're seeing on the screen, they're being called out. And it's, again, a double standard, but it's changing because, as I think Jason mentioned a little bit earlier, on Facebook, his own... this was something else. Again, I'm also this is my Ghostbusters moment.
Wait
but
a
yeah,
minute.
another...
Ew, what's that? Is that like MySpace for people in their 30s or something? But I would find...
That's the Eastern European version of X.
Can you bring up my screen real quick?
Sure, by all means. I was wondering if we could get... Dez always does this, folks. He stays quiet.
What did I do?
You've got to lure him into a conversation for his own sake. But go ahead, Smash, and then we'll get Dez.
Well, I'll just say this, and then we get his opinion. David Jaffe just posted this earlier today. So all of you guys know the earlier video was not hidden because I didn't stand by the video or the tweet. It was a concern for the algorithm and wanting my YouTube main page to stay focused on pure gameplay.
Oh, boy.
So now here it is, not to be deleted, on Twitter. Tear it into it if you would like. But I wanted you to know the logic behind privating the video. And I would step in and just... my 2 cents on this is the video is hurting his channel, losing subscribers. And he's like, you know what? No, not worth it. Private, get rid of it. And I'll put it somewhere else where it won't affect me.
It's so scummy, folks, right? Because if you step yourself into a landmine, right, the first instinct is to either freeze or to just get off of it. And this guy is like, no, I'm gonna sit on the mine and I'm gonna move my ass on it so it really explodes.
They call it twerking, Digny.
Oh,
his
there
logic,
we go. A modern word that I
makes
don't understand. But
his logic
Dez,
makes no sense.
well, it is not logical, but this is a guy who let his own son become trans. Dez, what do you make?
That word is allowed here. Relax.
I just like seeing him squirm, you know? I just love seeing him squirm because this is the kind of thing, right? He's trying,
and certainly
he's trying to do the whole edgy humor thing, but people like him don't like edgy humor. the people that follow him, that he the fan base that he fostered doesn't like edgy humor. But over here in this case, unless it's against conservatives, of course, or against other guys on the other side of the aisle. But over here, he's actually getting himself cooked by some of his audience, and I love to see it. I love it when people like them get a little bit of that taste of the shit that they pushed on everyone else, even though it never really goes as far as it went with them and their use of the cancel culture, like Chase just touched on. But in a way, it's the type of thing that, this is the type of thing that would get someone in really big trouble. But at the same time, it's like Smash said, you have to have something built up
To lose it.
for something to be torn down. And he's
That
just on his way to
already
becoming a lol cow. This right
he
here is a
he
lol cow.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that looks at him and sees Ralphus from WCW?
Who's
Anyone
that?
remember Ralphus?
I
from
don't know what the
WCW?
fuck that is.
I presented an image because my old man asked had to find this from the 90s.
Well, I'll tell you
Or
this, folks.
does he look like the main Ghostbuster or something?
No. This guy from WCW.
Come on.
Oh,
I liked him better as Ralphus.
that actually looks a lot like.
I can see him.
Right. I'm very surprised that David Jaffe shaved.
I was actually going to say that he looks a little bit different. He loses some more
Yeah.
hair or something, but yeah, he actually just shaved.
Well, Ozempic
On
is
the
a hell of
video
a
that you
drug.
guys just posted, I was actually mildly surprised that he looks mildly presentable, because the last time I looked him up was during the whole Veilguard thing, I think, in December, and he looked like shit. He had stains on his clothes.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, you got to clean yourself up, Des, when you're trying to get your kid back from a menopausal bitch who transed your child. Okay, so you gotta dress up and look presentable when you go into the family court system. But what about you, Mustafa? What do you make of this whole situation?
I mean, like, of course, he's not taking accountability. Like, all he has to do is apologize, say, "Yeah, I messed up." But I think he's a clear example that fame is not everything. Like, everybody wants fame so badly. This guy's famous, but he's depressed. Like, you look at him from like the last 10 years, he's gained a bunch of weight. He looks like he's aged 20 years in the last 10 years. Like, he always talking about the how much weed he smokes now, and probably does other substances he's not allowed to talk about. My guess, allegedly, I don't know, that's a guess. But I'm certain this guy is depressed. He has nothing going on in his life. He looks like a mess. He doesn't have any self accountability. He doesn't try to better himself. Whatever his kid is, I don't know what the original gender of his kid is, but
I think it's male to female, which is even more disgusting.
Okay, yeah, he's a failed parent. That's what I have.
Well, I'll tell you this about David Jaffe, because I didn't really know about his legacy before he became a content creator, and I always find it interesting where industry professionals, whether they are low down in the pecking order or high up in the pecking order, I always find it interesting that they transfer over to content creation, because it's not an easy transfer, right? Mustafa here is a game developer. Smash JT was a games tester, so he actually worked actively in the games industry. Jose used to clean
Games
Sony's
Master.
toilets. It's insane. What was that, Smash?
I said, and game master in game customer support for EverQuest.
I don't know what that is because I'm 26. But
And,
I will.
and recruiter for the game industry.
Oh my goodness, you know all the secrets. But just looking at this, it just goes to show that what we do as creators, whether you have the support of a few hundred people or a few thousand or tens of thousands or low hundreds of thousands, this panel is like full of examples of creators at different stages in their journey. And I think we can all agree that doing this is not easy. It can be very difficult sometimes, but it can also be very rewarding, especially when the host of a show gets flat out drunk and then showcases pornography on the show for the
So
lols.
bad.
Not me,
Never-
not me. Just so you know,
That
not
was my
me.
co-host. That was my
Yeah.
co-host. He
That was hilarious. Absolutely.
drunkenly pulled up Bonnie Blue, and that was a mistake because he had a safe
You,
search off.
you could show that on Rumble, but you can't upload it to X videos. It's literally
Yeah, that was the funniest thing about it, because you cannot upload it to an actual porn site.
It
because
literally came up and
porn
said,
sites
"Sorry,
have
this video
standards."
is not allowed." Like, are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
yeah,
You
porn
are a
stand-
literal.
porn sites have standards.
absolutely
Nope.
ridiculous. But folks, we've always swum against the tide here at the network, just like our predecessor did, and I am sure that the tide will turn, things will switch our way, and I think 2026 is going to be a fantastic year for everyone here, and I think it's going to be most fantastic for the guy on my right, for Dez. He probably will say no, but
Nope.
I think he'll do very well. I think he'll do very well. He reminds me a lot of Hypno. He does. Hypno with that
much
confidence.
more mild mannered, but yes, I see it. Yeah,
Oh,
For
wait
now.
until he gets comfortable doing this. Then he won't be
true,
mild
true,
mannered.
true.
I can
Hey,
assure.
before we move on from the Jaffe
Sure,
thing, just one more
sure,
thing
sure.
for me to add. I feel like he's ostracizing himself from his own cult right now and
Mhm.
finding himself on an island with no one else there and
Mhm.
being like, I'm just gonna do my own thing and set course for my own destination. And then he turns around and is like, how come no one's following me? Where is everyone?
That's the
So his
problem
own
with their
cult-
way of thinking, man. You know,
Exactly.
they end up
Well-
alone. They end
well,
up
you
alone with
can't-
nobody on their side.
You can't
Yeah.
go against the ideology or else you'll be excommunicated from the cult.
Mhm.
Unless you are just like, hey, yeah, this is who I am. This is what I believe in, and you stand for the direction of logic, truth, reality. You know, not believing in people being able to change their genders, not believing in what do you call it? Fake things in real life and calling those facts.
Mhm.
If he can't be 1 foot in one pond and then 1 foot in the other and be like, yep, I'm riding both of you. You can't do that. It doesn't make
Mhm.
sense. People see right through that and contradicts.
You can't double dip, folks. And also, don't play. If you're a woman, don't play soccer with fully grown men. You will break your ankle in no time. But
I
on
just
that
want to
note,
have
folks,
one more thing to add
Oh.
to Smash. There's one positive thing on him, on Dickerson, everyone that we're commenting on about this. They're a good example of what not to do. Whether or not you're a game developer and want to have a public statement or something, or even if you want to be a content creation and do some public appearances and have some opinions, what not to do, how to not operate, and what mindset not to have when you're stepping into content creation and into the public life. Because in a way, even like me as a smaller channel, even Jay's, Digny, everyone, we're kind of public, depending on how many people know us, and more we showcase our mindsets, but it's ours, and so that's what integrity is. And whereas these people, they just showcase either, in my opinion, mental illness that they shouldn't have showcased in the first place, or just how bad they are as people.
oh yeah,
Mhm.
this can drive you nuts, right? The more you delve into content creation, the more it can drive you crazy, especially when a lot of pressure is put on you over a long period of time. And
Well,
that's why
I don't know. Can I add to that? Because I don't know
Sure.
if it's just, it might be something to do with the pressure over time, or maybe in case by case basis, or maybe we are seeing with the advent of technology and live streaming and people putting their lives out there day in and day out, that we are seeing in real time how a human just goes fucking crazy.
Yep.
I
And
agree.
certain people, we just see it over time. It's like, oh, that makes sense. The road they went down, how they ended up in the loony bin, or
Humans
how
are
they
not
had
meant
this
to touch a
condition.
million
Think
people
about
at
it, we have
once.
seen this with movie stars in the past because of their before streaming, before the internet. We have seen this with movie stars. We have seen their lives that are being exposed by paparazzi, by everything. And we have seen that actually some of them are downright crazy, and some of them become crazy over time.
If you do any of this, you got to like what you say. You got to believe what you say. You can't be trying to please everyone and look for absolute validation, which a lot of people on the other side of this cultural space that's opposite us like to do. If you're relying on the internet for validation, I'm afraid that to steal a phrase from them, you need to go touch grass. Because
Oh, yeah,
the
touching grass is
validation can't
important.
come from the internet. The validation has to come from in here.
I
in
actually had a conversation with one of my good friends on the phone the other day talking about this because I'm streaming a lot. I'm spending a lot of time on YouTube, and I'm like, if I didn't have my shit together in my real life, this would be fucking depressing. Like it really would be. But because I feel very fulfilled in life, I come and do this as like on top of that, I'm having fun with this. But I see some of these other creators, and it's just like they're fucking miserable. And I'm like, go touch grass, bro. Get out, go do something.
Sorry to say this, Smash, but folks, what's the difference between Smash and Dickers? A divorce.
Well, I think there's a lot more than just that. Is
There's dude, I've been watching Kino Casino. I don't even know how that guy, I had no idea he was that crazy, and I don't know how you know who ended up in a stream with him and David Jaffe. It just shows you the
know how
type
to
of
find
people that they fucking hang around.
They know how
Which
to
is one
find
more
each
good
other.
thing. They provide a lot of content for segues.
It's insane because you watch Kino Casino and Triple P doesn't come out of the screen to eat you. How else do you think he gets that big? He literally eats viewers.
And eyeballs.
Oh god.
And
Damn.
protein
Well,
shake.
that's a
So what
Evo.
you're trying to say is that when they say let's get some subs, he's talking about Subway.
Yes.
Yep.
Shit.
Because it's the only way he can go on a diet. It's like I know most people like those two guys, but one of them will eat you, the other one will turn you into cocaine. That's all I'm saying. on that note, they're not as no one who operates in blood sports is a good person. Like literally no one. So on that note, because you
And I would
can't
just
be if you want to survive. What?
Yeah, just to finish it all up, because we are getting a lot of good blue and green stuff. Just in time is asking if I came straight from. I cannot pronounce that word. So
Choir.
I need an American or an
Choir,
Englishman.
choir,
Choir
choir.
practice.
Choir. Damn my Balkan ancestry.
No, it's
No,
queer.
I have not. But thank you. I consider that as a compliment. I have a terrible childish voice sometimes, and it's good to know that it's gotten deeper today.
If I had a child right now, I'd have Helso baptize it.
Well, guys, I heard on the grapevine before we continue that Helzo had a speech impediment.
Oh yeah, I actually apparently have a speech impediment and an accent. Apparently, some commentators on my YouTube.
I know it isn't true because I never collaborate with people with speech impediments because I don't want to pick up their speech impediments. I have literally done that to creators with speech impediments. I'm never collaborating with you again because I don't want your stutter or your visual tics or any of that sort of stuff. I know it's very horrible, but I need my voice now more than ever. Okay, let's face it. So on that note, we're going to talk a little bit about Square Enix and the fact that they're trying to turn things around. Whether or not they succeed is a matter of debate. But Jose is our Square Enix expert. I just hate the company ever since the merger. I don't really know too much about the details, but Jose can fill you in on the things. Go ahead, Jose.
Oh man, they've been just cleaning house at Square Enix. They're firing people left and right, mostly the ideologues in the Western divisions, as far as Europe and the United States, which is where they need to clean house. They're trying to center everything back sort of in Japan a little more, which I think is where they need to, regain their focus. But one of the beautiful things is seeing all these Square Enix ideologues start to complain and cry and piss and moan. Apparently, Square Enix even fired one of these people on their honeymoon. I have the world's smallest violin to play for these people.
What the hell?
Classic.
And very deserved.
Yes, and this was someone who worked at an organization prior called Limit Break, that their whole ideological goal was to push white men out of gaming. Yeah,
Literally.
that's why Square Enix has been losing for so many damn years. They've been pushing the white men out of gaming, body A's and body B's and all this. And it looks like finally they're ready to sort of come to the table and pivot back to some sense of reality again.
I wonder if it's more they're just taking a more generalized approach because it's just affecting currently the U.S. and European branches.
Yeah.
And in my brief research, I've done a little bit of a dive on it, not as deep as I'd like, but across the board, from what I've seen from each person that is on LinkedIn crying about it right now, is a pronoun, weirdo, nose ring, Smurf colored hair, the same generic thing across the board. And I can't help but think that Square Enix Japan had maybe even hired an external company to just go through each profile and be like, which ones are this? Do they fit? Oh, they're all over there. Okay, let's just one fell swoop, knock them all out of here because this is the problem. And a lot of people are saying it's not enough because the studios are still open. And I would argue that's true. They need to close down Square Enix USA and Square Enix EU if they want to get back to being based.
I've been calling for that for a long time. I want everything to just go back in-house to Japan, let them start from square one, figure this out.
But you could say the same about Nintendo too, though. So
Absolutely.
and they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So, at least Square is
The
doing
way
something.
I see it, the way I see it is this is the problem with a lot of companies, and this has become apparent in 2025, especially with the existence of so many indie and AA games that absolutely completely destroyed every triple and even quadruple A games this year. They're going to even if they don't win all the awards that they deserve, they're still. It showcases with sales numbers, with people that are continuing to play them, to be involved with them. I actually had a post today about Expedition 33. How do you know that a game is so influential beyond just being a good game? And there, to me, Square Enix is just probably one of the few companies that are trying to do something and to stay afloat because they know what is coming. They know that many small studios are going to take the big companies' place. They're going to be better games from better studios, from better people that are smaller in size. They're more passionate, like Sandfall Interactive, like other studios. We're going to have more people from their basement releasing banger games like Schedule 1, and people are going to eat it up like warm bread, and they're just going to turn away from AAA because AAA is way too comfortable with giving you the same slop and just expecting you to eat it up, as arguably gamers did up until a point. Like, they would eat it up, pre-order in mass. If you have followed that, don't pre-order hashtag and mantra didn't exist before, I think, 2017 or something. Everyone was pre-ordering in mass. Everybody was like, "Oh, they're announcing the game. I'm getting it."
You can't trust mainstream games anymore. Go away, Jose.
Digny, to go with what you said a couple of weeks ago. You said this on the show with Dash Attack. It was a few months ago that Sandfall actually met with Square Enix, and I'm sure that Square Enix, the developers in Japan, were taking the measure of who are these guys, what did they do, how did they get it done. There was probably a lot of, just question and answer, sort of getting a gauge of the temperature. And then right afterwards, Square Enix goes, we know what we must do. The nuclear option. All you pink hairs, get the hell out. I mean, I'm even hearing a rumor, I haven't been able to confirm it, that Senna Breyer, who is the voice actor for the appalling furry transsexual creature Waklamon in Final Fantasy 14, may be out at Square Enix. They may have said, thanks, but no thanks. We're getting rid of you and your character.
You'll never hear me say this again. I'd like to apologize to Jose because I told him to go away instead of take it away. All right, but
look, I hear ice knocking on my door right now.
No. You work 3 jobs and this isn't one of them. This is your fun time. But Des, I welcome your views on this situation. You shy boy, you.
I saw the news earlier today. Because I've been busy with other stuff, making videos and etc., and depressed on the 2 video games that I've been playing. But I checked it out, and one of them was a localizer, I think, as well. The one that you guys sent me. Then this one over here, the one from the honeymoon, I believe, was from Life is Strange, which is another franchise that they ruined. Like, that was already woke from the get-go. in a sense of speaking, but the first game was genuinely a good one, and they managed to ruin it. Even things that were already quote-unquote woke, they still managed to make them worse, ruin the writing, make it all about lesbians banging, forget about the passion, forget about the supernatural aspect of it. They've been fucking everything up.
But you
Even
can-
the
you
things
can
that they
have a-
shouldn't fuck up.
You can have a choice-based game, and this is a great thing about choice-based games, where you can embrace the supernatural or embrace being a lesbian. Either way, you're fucked, but it's going to be a good experience. It's nice to have choice in these situations. But what about you, Mustafa? What do you make of this whole situation?
Oh yeah, I haven't been really paying too much attention with Square Enix recently, but I mean, this just seems like a continuation of the pattern we've been seeing with AAA in general, with like all these studios having layoffs, and I mean, a lot of it's due to the fact that they just straight up over hired, especially 2019 2020 with all the lockdowns. They got extra all these AAA studios got extra money. They got too many people. There's diminishing returns with how big a studio gets, and personally, I don't see the AAA industry like getting back to a stable state for like another decade. It's gonna take a long time for AAA to get stable, and
It's
I
too
mean,
ingrained in there.
Yeah,
The rot.
The next,
Yeah.
the next
It's
companies
institutional.
are gonna be
You
triple
can't
A,
even
not
click a
different
button.
people.
You can't even click a button that says, fire all the wokies, because they built these environments in these studios, and now it just is what it is.
It's
You
a
have to- you
big
have to tear it
problem.
down.
Like
a big-
these localizers, for example, what are they doing? They are so obsessed with politics. It's their chief concern that they can't even go to work and leave their politics at home and just make their games. If they find a single instance where they can
yeah.
fuck something in the translation or whatever it is that they're doing to make something woke, they're going to do it.
And then in
It
the
is
case
a
of Kate,
disease.
she was very foolish that she put out that she wished for the basic removal of people that didn't agree with her mindset about a month before Charlie Kirkwood's ended. And that really was the point where they're like, okay, we got to do something about this. Because even in Japan, they were posting on the forums like, you got to get rid of her. We can't have this.
It's a red line
Good.
moment. It's a zeitgeist shifting moment, just like donations are a zeitgeist shifting moment in topics. Thank you to Mark Smith for the $10 donation. We appreciate you,
Legend.
my good man. In which you I don't know why Jose is laughing. In which you say the following quote: Square Enix USA has been relegated to making sure all of the Tifa action figures and dolls get to customers on time for
That's
Christmas.
why I'm laughing. Because you can
Oh,
imagine
there
the
we go.
tears going down those purple-haired faces as they have to send these big-boobed women to massive amounts of gamers.
And if
They
they
better
wanna
get
keep
mine
the
on
job
time,
in
man.
Christmas, they have to be couriers and they have to deliver them
Well-
directly.
Well, hopefully the bottoms of those toys are smooth, because knowing the West, they won't be. But thank you for your donation, Mark. In fact, thank you all for your donations so far. We appreciate all the new viewers. If you haven't already, like the stream, share the stream. Donations are always welcome. And Justin, who looks like a woman, who's been a member for 7 months, says if GTA 6
Absolute
bombs or is mid sales, AAA is
Done
What?
in the A.
there we go. Well, thank
That
you.
means
for
an
that.
ass.
That's very true, by the way. Like, I mean, even if it does well, by the way, it's still not gonna save AAA. It's still not gonna
Oh.
like.
Yeah, like GTA is
not
just
gonna-
GTA.
It's not gonna save the current AAA, and that's what I want to say. There is going to be AAA gaming in the future as well, because AAA stands for a lot of things, like the merit, the size of a company, what they're releasing, the budgets and stuff like that. There's going to be a form of AAA in the future, but it's not going to be what we are seeing now. It's going to be something new. It's going to be maybe new standards, new stuff. It may not even have the same targets as they have now, but if we can actually kind of argue that the games that were released this year, with the sales that they have done, with the impact that they have had, and especially with the lasting impact that some of them are going to have, they're worthy of that merit of the true AAA, of the true AAA, or the 5-star experience, whatever you want to call it, or as hotels with what was it?
Also,
That Michelin star.
more games than we have to understand this in the industry today. More games are being made now than we have seen in recent history because of the fact because the existing system is failing. So new systems rise to try and fill in the void. Right? We haven't seen that at such a large scale for a very long time, right? And I think it's very important to realize we're in a position where the existing system is still too strong to be deposed, but you have this alternative set of systems, a multitude of them, that are rising. It's very interesting how our pop culture landscape really parallels our cultural landscape in the West today. An existing system of institutions that are still too strong to be uprooted, but you've got new things that are rising that seek to challenge them. We are hitting the hour mark. Smash is a very busy person, so we're giving him his out now. So, Smash, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you, and you have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, no, this was a blast as always. Thank you so much for having me on, guys. I will be streaming tonight, just like every weeknight, 8 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Arc Raiders, Eurogamer giving it a 2 out of 10. And we have a few other fun topics to talk about as well. Ghost of Yate, lots of cope going on with that.
The best game, the gold standard.
Lots of cope. And let me see. Wednesday, I'm still working on it, but we're trying to get Vara Dark on as a guest, which should be fun to do that.
That's going to be good.
Yeah. And I feel like there was something else there's a lot that I'm rolling around trying to get planned, but this was awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me on. And I will be listening in the background while I get to work over here because it never stops. It's 24 hours a day when I'm away.
I'm telling you, Smash, before you go, you are doing far too much single-handedly. I think you're the most successful one-man band content creator I have ever seen. Just remember, there are plenty of people who are able, willing, and capable to help.
I appreciate that, sir. I appreciate
We gotta
it.
get Smash some of those AI robots that gets things done around the house.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get the news.
Could you imagine, by the way, if I bought like a $20,000 robot for a video?
Yep.
And just the meltdown the haters would have, be like, he's grifting money for his lawsuit, and he bought
the black one.
I want to say something. Do you know who's going to remotely operate the nail when you give it a more complex? Imagine who's gonna operate it. Imagine who's gonna apply for a job to operate it, just to help them with something involved with you.
Buy the black one.
Imagine
it's gonna be a one-legged Chinese woman.
Right.
Boy.
So you have a good day now, Smash. Don't work yourself too hard.
No, I'll be in the chat too. Listening. Appreciate you guys. Have a good rest.
See you, Smash.
Thank you for being here. Cheers, man. Thank you.
See you, man.
Always a pleasure.
And now our audience is going to cut in half. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, folks. As an old friend used to say, the truth is reality-based. But stick around. We still got a few topics to talk about. One of which, because we have to get through two more topics, and we've got nearly an hour. So I think Smash, it's the best of both worlds. He has to go. We have to move to another topic. Everybody wins. But on that note, I'll just write down the timestamp. What's it about? What's 2.3 about? Oh, it is actually about Arc Raiders being pushed to be Game of the Year. I'd love to get Bez's perspective because I hate multiplayer games.
I would just want to interject before we start because I do want to get to these as we go. They're very important. And grade the merchant for the $2. Bow Speed Gaming Crack. Also, hi, gentlemen. Someone needs to translate this to Bow Speed Gaming Crack.
I have no idea, but I appreciate your money, my good man.
Because you're 26?
Yeah, probably. But I appreciate everyone. I appreciate everyone's support. Thank you for watching this network show. We have plenty of network shows. Our next one will be on Wednesday with Noise Pollution and his crazy crew. He says they're professionals, but Lilith is on the panel. He says they're professionals, but Furious Dan might be there. Okay, it's where we put all the green crazy people. He won't like me saying that, but the truth is a cunt. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, Shroud wants Arc Raiders to be Game of the Year to spite Expedition 33. Now, Des, you recently released a video condemning, for lack of a better term,
Yes, I
Arc
did.
Raiders. What do you make of the effort for it to become Game of the Year so late in the lineup?
I thought the whole thing was so stupid that the video isn't even about that. It's about the monetization is, oh my god, it's crazy. It's super expensive skins in the game, and like an outfit is $20. And also to do with the PvE situation, because there's been a bit of a debacle between the PvP and the PvE. Some people want a separate mode, others don't. So I saw that thing from Shroud. I put it in the video as a joke, mostly because it's so ridiculous. But now it's grown. Shroud has doubled down. There's some people coming out and saying Arc Raiders is way better. It's a much more engaging game. It's the best game that they've ever played. Shroud has gone into basically talking about how, doubling down on how the Game Awards always give awards to single player games. He even said that they should be they should have separate categories, and they already do. They already have a multiplayer game of the year. So what the fuck are you gonna do? You're gonna do the multiplayer game of the year awards? A lot of these things, they don't get rewards because, let's face it, multiplayer games are just really not that deep when it comes to what they're, they're fun. But Game Awards have always been about celebrating what goes beyond, which means that the Game Awards is a bunch of fucking bullshit at this point, because so many of the games that get awards are nonsense, and they come from panels of journalists and etc. So
Exactly.
it's just all a big clown show.
Well, let me fill you in on a little secret, guys, right? Do you want to win Game of the Year? Give Jeff Keighley the most money, okay?
Yes.
Right? You can spend...
You
spend
gotta glaze them a little bit. You gotta glaze the journalists. You gotta put in some fancy things, some body types. You know what I mean? You gotta slide a little bit of money under the table. Like, hey Jeff, how's it go? Or do like Hideo Kojima. You know, just put him in the game.
Even if GTA 6 crashes and burns when it releases, Rockstar will pay that motherfucker $500 million and it will become Game of the Year.
As usual, I have a meme for this.
Oh,
This
go
was-
ahead. Go ahead.
Me, story mode, game developer. You'll have more fun with the others, but I was already having fun. About how the pivot away from just single player or story mode has gone over the past few years.
I wanna mention something on the multiplayer games, because I think Shroud said that they're a minority, right? In his clip, they're a minority. That's
Yeah.
yeah. So let's just. I just want to say that Overwatch won Game of the Year in 2016.
Mhm.
That is important because he said, I think he said that they don't win these awards. On second, I want to say that yes, game awards are in an essence, I think, meaningless, because we see from the player's perspective and from the community's perspective what's going on and what game is selling, what game is being played, what game is being carried out. And because Shroud said that Expedition game should not win, I would like to just say something, because today in the morning
Sure.
I just typed in on X Expedition 33 cosplay, and I can tell you there's a lot of clips of people, not on conventions, not on like official conventions, on cons when you dress up. They're going and they're gathering in groups and they're traveling through the cities and just doing these shows themselves, like 20, 30, 40, 50 people. The orchestra, the band, and the people that are making the music are now on tour in Europe for the music, and they're going to be on a US tour next year. You have people that are cosplaying, fan arting, everything on Expedition 33. This is how a game carries over. This is how a game carries
Mhm.
over beyond what it is, beyond you just
cultural
sitting down
movement.
playing it and enjoying it. Yes, this is a cultural moment. We had that with Blizzard. We still have that with Blizzard, especially with the old games. You still have people who do that. You have that with Mass Effect. We have the N7 day. This is a day that is being celebrated, November 7th. You have the Witcher days, and you have the Witcher themed pubs in Poland. You have people who are constantly exploring the stuff. That's how a game wins. And I'm not saying about awards and everything. That's how a game wins for decades to come, because Witcher, for the lack of a better, is still one of the very played games. And that's not only new players, that people like me that have played it 6 times already and still want to play it again.
You know,
That's
to add to what you said, Helzo, also Elden Ring had a co-op mode. Baldur's Gate 3 had a co-op mode. It's not like these games are strictly single-player games. A lot of people I know who stream both of those games do it with friends. They're playing Elden Ring with their buddies. They're playing Baldur's Gate 3 with their buddies. And now those games have won Game of the Year in the past couple of years. So it is kind of a little bit erroneous to say, oh, well, only single-player games win.
I'll tell you this, folks, you need to play co-op on Elden Ring to complete that bloody game. Same with the Remnant games, because they're not.
Someone made that
they're not
argument
easy.
in my comment section.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
you
what-
read your comments?
Yeah, I roasted it.
Oh,
Like, what the
no,
fuck are you talking
no,
about?
you're a big-
Just play the
no,
game.
no. Des,
But,
you're a big-time creator. You should look down on people who have less support than you need. You need to learn these things, Des, because once you become this big time, because you're really going to be a big-time creator, you've got to adopt the attitude of a prominent creator with a very big upper nose, looking down at all the plebs and ignoring those little commenters who haven't made anything.
To add to what Helzo said, here we are, Witcher 3, 16K in game on SteamDB right now as we're
This
playing.
is 10 years after the game released, and it still has expansions, it still has patches, it still has more content, and people still. Let me tell you from my perspective, I've beaten the game 5 times already with the DLCs, and this is not me just boasting about it. This is just something that I have done because I like the game so much. I enjoy just going to Skellige and just walking, not fast traveling, just walking, listening to the music. This is the immersiveness I've talked a lot about on my videos and in the shows, or immersiveness and escapism. This is one of the peak games, in my opinion, that provides you that escapism that lets you forget about it. It lets you forget about the real world. And now, 10 years later, Expedition 33 for me has done the same. I can boot up the game. I can just walk around the areas. I can be at the camp section where I have a gramophone and just load one of the musics there, and I can just listen to the music all day. This is the type of game and the type of games that I think are only available at once every 5 or 10 years. It's not something that can happen every time.
And here's a question, Helzo. In a year's time from now, do you think anybody is going to be talking about Arc Raiders, or will they moved on to the next thing? That's also
they might be playing it. There might be some servers playing it. Like we have a lot of live service games, a lot of multiplayer games that are still being played. They will be playing it, but it's not going to have that impact. It's not going to have that out of game impact.
Well, remember, Helzo. Remember Marvel Rivals. Remember when that game was all the rage. Remember how that was going to lead to Marvel returning to form, and a year, 2 years later, zap, zilch, nada. But Des, you were mentioning you were bothering to communicate with your audience. Care to elaborate on that weird exception?
Well, it was because of the PvE thing. Because they were saying, somebody said something along the lines of, and I'm going to paraphrase. Oh, wait, no, it was actually me. They were arguing about the game being the way that the game is, and if you don't enjoy it the way that it is right now, and you want a PvE mode, then that is because you are somebody who has a skill issue and you can't play the game. So I just said, do you need to do PvE in order to beat Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord? You don't. You don't necessarily have a skill issue just because you want to do PvE instead of PvP, or if you want to play against, well, the PvE is playing against the AI. That was basically it. But it wasn't even the stupidest thing. There's been a lot of stupid comments, especially on social media, on X. It's been crazy. And what Helzo just said, and Jace, is very relevant. This game is popular right now. As soon as another big thing comes out, they're going to abandon it, and you're not even going to hear anything about the previous one. In fact, something that usually happens is they get salty a little bit and they use the old one to give relevance to the new one. So let's say that a new game comes out in like 3 or 4 years and it's a way better extraction shooter. It's called, I don't know,
Marathon.
Bingo Bango Bongo. Oh, Marathon. That would be good. You know there's going to be people like Arc Raiders sucks, bro. Marathon is way better. Arc Raiders doesn't even reach the ankles of Marathon. And that is why that in my video, I put in that meme when Shroud was talking. I put in that meme from that Indian guy or whatever talking at the UN or whatever the fuck he was talking about, where he went, democracy is of the people, by the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
Yes, and that's why most
They're
creators.
going to vote for this shit.
Well, that's why most creators, folks, run their channels as dictatorships. It's so ironic. But I'd like to make one more point before we get Mustafa's perspective, who's actually a game dev. I can't wait to see the stats when Witcher 4 releases, and ultimately see more people playing Witcher 3 than Witcher 4. Mustafa, what do you make of this whole situation?
Okay, so first I want to agree with the point about this game or Arc Raiders is not going to be something that people will remember in the long term. Like, in general, like multiplayer is never like. Let me. This is one of my favorite games. Tribes 2.
Tribes 2.
Can't play it. Like I have kids. I have 3 kids right now. My oldest one, like I don't have them play games all the time. I regulate, but we're starting to play a little bit more games, and I'm introducing him to games that I had fun with, and games that he can get used to. Stuff that's not too hard. He's never gonna play this. Never. This is one of my favorite multiplayer games. He's never gonna play it because they die once the community is gone. If it was the players are part of the content for the game, and I haven't played Expedition 33, but I heard Asmongold say that 20 years from now, people are going to be talking about Expedition 33. 20 years from now, no one's going to remember what Arc Raiders is, and I completely agree. Without even playing it myself, just seeing like what the zeitgeist is with the game, how everyone's talking about it. Yeah, I can see 20 years from now, people are going to still talk about it.
I gotta ask.
Again, they might be playing it. It might actually be playing, depending on how it goes. Like they're playing Counter-Strike.
As a game dev, also, how much of that
have any cultural impact?
How much
Counter-Strike is very variable, though.
That attitude that also the player has.
I mean,
of which I've seen with PvP, especially with like games like World of Warcraft, I think of PvP, for example, where like the developers start listening to players get like salty because they keep losing to certain, mechanics or abilities. And then all of a sudden, we're going to nerf this in the next patch. And then there's a whole sect of other players that's now mad because you nerfed it. And then it becomes like constant appeasement. And this always seems to happen in the life cycle of PvP style games. Do you think that that's also sort of a pitfall that all these guys run into, that you can't please everybody who's playing your game?
Yeah.
Just get pissed and splinter off?
Like, personally, I have not been a developer for a multiplayer game, and I don't plan on making any multiplayer games, but I have worked at companies. Like I worked at Treyarch. I was doing administrative work there during Black Ops 4, and like Black Ops 4. I mean, if you guys remember, Black Ops 3 was the one that had the jump jets. The first one where you can like jump jet and run on the walls. I think Advanced Warfare was the first one to have jump jets, but then Black Ops 3 had wall running as well, but it wasn't as good as Titanfall. So no one liked the wall running in Black Ops 3. And then when they announced, okay, no more jump jets, the fans were like, yeah. But then Titanfall 2 comes out and everyone's like, this is amazing. Why are there not more games that have really smooth wall running like this? So when it comes down to like fighting over okay, do we listen to the fans, do we try to innovate, and it becomes a tug of war because because you hear so many different voices from the fans. But another point I wanted to bring up is that these multiplayer games, a lot of it is fueled by monetization. Like the whole reason why, I mean, like the meme that Jace brought up earlier with hey, look, game developers, here's a multiplayer mode, with that meme. Multiplayer became very trendy in the 2000s once consoles started getting online. So then you saw all these games that didn't need a multiplayer mode get a multiplayer mode attached because they were trying to, the whole purpose was money. They were trying to prevent people from taking their game back to GameStop so that someone else can't buy the used game.
Yeah, that's
like that was the whole reason why that became a thing. And now it's not that anymore. Now the reason why there's multiplayer is because multiplayer, it makes more money in general than single player. Like,
I think about GTA with the shark cards.
Yeah, like the monetization, having a $20 skin, you make so much more money than a single player game. With a single player game, you might have some DLC, expansion, maybe a little bit of microtransactions, but you're not going to make as much as a live service, multiplayer game.
Well, that's the sad thing about the innovations, especially in console gaming, and we've seen it in PC gaming as well. The innovations are that you can make more money by doing less things, and that became the industry standard, right? Especially in the mid 2010s and early 2020s, where we can release a game that either isn't fully complete or isn't even bloody working in some cases, and patch it later, battle pass our way out of the issue, just add DLC to actually finish the story, many other instances and examples as well. And that became the industry standard, which is why AAA and quadruple A gaming is now synonymous with bloated, so big it has to fail.
Yeah. Well, also, I think streaming culture adds into a lot of it too. Like I think as much as we've talked about sort of the struggle with Rumble on the gaming front, your front page is just inundated right now with like 3 pages of Arc Raiders. God help you if you play a single player game. And typically when I stream video games, I'm just like playing a single player RPG and just chilling and chatting with people. But they're like, nah, back of the bus to you because you're not playing whatever the current thing is. But in a month,
That's racist.
Yeah, I should do that. I call myself the Rosa Parks of Rumble because they usually have me on the back page of the gaming section.
I'm sorry, Jose. You own a car just like Rosa Parks owned a car, okay? You don't need to be on the bus. But in all seriousness, folks, if you want to succeed as a Rumble creator, as a Rumble streamer, dress up in this wacko getup, go into ladies' toilets, and
there it is. There's the hat.
Allegations, and you can be on the front page of all Rumble game streams. And yes, I am talking about Dr. Disrespect.
Oh, God.
That hat right there is why he was able to upload the Bonnie Blue video, and the Korn platform didn't allow it, but Rumble did. It's like, if you wear the hat, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Guys, I wish that were true, right? Cancel this podcast, which Jose is one of the hosts and founders of, is literally the only Rumble channel I know to get suppressed by the platform.
That's crazy. What did you do?
It is criticized the Jewish CEO. That's what we did. I mean, he did. I wasn't there. But yeah, Chris, whatever the fuck his last name is, Ski. But
I've said it. He sends some Rumble creators fruit baskets. He sends me an exploding pager.
Oh my God.
Well, at least he didn't send you a brick.
That is true. That is true.
I don't know. He may have hired that guy.
That is the last time I send Atreus your way, Jose. If it was Cater, it would have been a pebble because he's 5'6". But in all seriousness, folks, when we look at this situation, when we look at Arc Raiders, it has a lot of potential. A lot of these multiplayer games have a lot of potential if they were fleshed out and made into something beyond what they originally were. And as much as I hate Fortnite has embodied that mindset of here's an interesting concept. It's done incredibly well. Let's use this as a basis for our entire company, and let's go all in and expand upon it and bring as many characters into the fold as possible. And let's take Disney money and Chinese communist money. That also helps. But with Arc Raiders, I think it's a great multiplayer game with a limited legacy, right?
I never played Fortnite. I can't speak for it, but a thing that I hate these days is that the multiplayer games aren't made with the idea of being fun. They're just made to stretch out as much as they can to allow for more monetization. So they're naturally made to be unrewarding, and that's what pisses me off the most.
Well,
And that's
also,
a-
you know, we
it's a big
can't
issue.
ignore the live service situation either, which is another thing. It stops you from being able to really own your game, truly own your game. What can you do with a game that's permanently online? Can't
Hopefully,
really
the
do
Stop
online.
Killing Games initiative
Like,
will have an
if we
impact on
have to
that.
be- If we have to be honest, like when Overwatch released initially, they did have like at least an attempt to have unique developments for the first year and a half. They did try to, like, the seasonal events and stuff like that. They did try to be creative in the beginning, and that's what kept a lot of people on it in the beginning. And keep in mind, this is after Team Fortress 2, which is basically they actually did a quick friendly jab that they're actually devote Team Fortress 2 because it's literally almost the same if you think about it. But again, that was when there was still some hope.
Yeah.
that company.
Sadly, they pivoted away from that and decided to go towards just making as many non-binary characters as humanly possible.
Yeah, the
Well, you
first
don't-
domino to fall was censoring Tracer's ass balls. When
you
that
don't
started
merge-
happening, that's when.
You don't merge companies, folks. That's the lesson we learned from Activision Blizzard. That's a lesson we learned from Square Enix. The worst thing you can do in business or in life is merge things together. I like Mustafa and Jose. I'm not going to merge them together to create this half.
Can you imagine?
We do a fusion,
Middle
the
East
fusion dance.
It's nuts. Go ahead.
The other
Des.
way.
Go ahead, Des. What were you saying?
Oh, I was not saying anything decent.
Well, say something indecent. We got to get your.
Well, I was
confidence
just
going.
saying. Can you imagine the outcome?
Yes, half Mexican, half Middle Eastern. It's a recipe for disaster,
Oh, that's a crime statistic you don't want.
right? You don't want to mix Mexico and Iraq. You really don't. They have something in common, not liking America. But
Yalla,
it-
yalla, arriba, arriba.
yes, and Jose could do the other more controversial
On
variation.
that whole topic, I want to bring up the super chats from Kalyanikov, who's been
Sure.
talking about Deadlock. And I just checked it. He says, I just wanted to bring Deadlock in the conversation because it's the main multiplayer game I'm excited about. Valve always cook good shit. The thing is that it's still in early development from what I saw from his chats, but I want to share something with you to see
By all means.
early development.
And you look at the history of Valve, guys, and let's face it,
Check it out.
it's due a regime change because they're all getting old. All of them. You can't
Yeah,
work
but-
for a company for 30 odd years and not age a bit.
It's also very, very important to know what the goal is, because for multiplayer games the goal is to sell, only to have the money back and to build upon it, to have a profit of it. I think that from what I'm seeing on this screenshot, 171 players, 1,000 players and more in the early release, in the early access. That's a good number in my opinion. It's a third-person shooter multiplayer. I think it's a good number, and if your goal as a developer of a game is to just have this, to have the money, then they can do that. They multiplayer person shooters, like every multiplayer game can do that. I think our creators also is going to cash in a lot, but that's the difference that we have been talking about. What is going to be the long lasting?
I don't think their goal is to make money though, because I think it was Dota 2. No, it was either Dota 2 or TF2. I was listening to an interview with Gabe, and he was talking about how the purpose of the free to play was to get people on Steam. Like they didn't care about making money. That's why they started making all their games free. And for them to just make this game, it's basically to try to get people away from other live service games that aren't on Steam, such as Fortnite. Because that's only on Epic. So it's like, okay, get yourself off of Epic, get yourself back to Steam, and stay on here.
Well, I think the biggest threat to Steam now, it's not Epic, surprisingly. It's Roblox. More people use or play, not use, or rather officially play Roblox, like 28 million kids and 28 million predators play Roblox than they do Steam, right? And I think the best way to ruin the reputation of that game is to make it the true Predator game, okay? I know Predator Badlands is a fantastic movie, but that Predator looks fucking autistic. It looks like it got made by Bella Ramsey, okay? It's called Predator. The Predator, I don't care if it's a shit film, the Predator has to look good. But in all seriousness, I am of the view that, and I'm sorry to burst this guy's bubble, because I'm sure he's a great guy, Valve is going to ultimately end up the way Nintendo is right now because they do a regime change. Nintendo are currently going through, ever since the Switch 2 released, they've been going through a regime change, right? The OGs who made the company what it was are being phased out, they're retiring, and now you're seeing the result of Nintendo today. Their main lady is a legalistic lawsuit bitch, for lack of a better term.
Don't tell her about my 3DS emulators.
Okay, I won't, but no one plays a 3DS, so I think you'll be fine. But I think, unfortunately, Valve, and by connection, Steam, will suffer a similar fate, unfortunately, because nothing can last forever. And this is
Is
what
it
I
in the
hate
same
about it.
position as Reggie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, what the
And-
fuck? Why did they do that?
And her primary background is in lawsuits and litigation.
And her physiognomy is the same as Kathleen Kennedy's. And I don't
Which
trust
is
anybody
not
with that
Oh,
face.
fuck.
So Nintendo is going to go down the dark path.
Same
Des.
machine produced.
Nintendo's cooked.
And I am of the view that Valve will ultimately follow suit because everything has its time to shine. Everything fades away. That's one thing I hate about live service games. It's one thing I hate about multiplayer games, is that they try to live forever when that's not possible. One day, it ends and you have to move on. And game franchises usually move on with sequels, and eventually they make enough sequels until one of them just fucking fails, and then they stop. So that's what we should be doing. But no, we want to keep everything alive forever, and it just robs the soul of a project.
Well, to go to what you said, Digny, at the beginning of this very stream, Smash JT talked about Back to the Future. And one of the things that makes Back to the Future special is they did 3 movies. That's it. That's it. They didn't try to keep going. They didn't try to reboot this and reboot that. And it keeps it special. It keeps it timeless. But the thing is,
They
nowadays,
made a
like you
reboot in
said,
2016, all women.
oh, freaking Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I was actually listening, and I was like, Jose
was
was wrong.
Des was just starstruck. He fanboyed out and made a mistake. It's perfectly fine.
But
No
ultimately, like everything that
Just
we see
listening along right now to Jose, and I was finding it weird. Like he's talking about Back to the Future. I thought he was talking about fucking Ghostbusters.
Yeah, blame it on the Rumble guy.
But you know what?
It's the easiest thing.
but you know what? Like every franchise out now, like Assassin's Creed, GTA, these are just skin suits for new people that came in. The people who made that what it is, they're long gone. All right? It's over.
Yeah,
you know,
man,
it's just
so
over.
many ruined games, so many ruined franchises. It's
like
both
if-
depressing and it pisses somebody up, makes you wanna see more layoffs, but at the same time just makes me sad. Like I wanted another Deus Ex game. I'm never gonna get that.
Yeah.
Well, Des, let me put it to you in this way. I know you're not an American, but Gabe Newell is George Washington. Whoever replaces him is Alexander Hamilton. Okay,
I would say
basically,
George Bush.
Yeah, George Bush. Yeah, that'd be a funnier version. Basically, not a good replacement. Okay, and I wanna make that clear. We like to keep shows around
If
2
that's
hours.
the
guys.
case, then things are going to be really dark, though, because
That's
well,
why we got to get more black people on the show. Des.
consoles are getting fucked because it's all getting more expensive. And if Steam goes down a dark road as well, what are we going to have?
We're going to sell out to the Chinese, support Epic, and then the Chinese are going to use our money to oppress people like Mustafa in their own country.
You
So
will
on that
own
note,
nothing, and you will be happy.
that too.
They
We
should
got
use
time-
their fucking money to get some features on that store, because that's the biggest problem on it.
No. You will swallow Alan Wake 2 until it becomes profitable. Okay? 2.4. Speaking of games on Steam, 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 20 seconds. Now, folks, you're not really going to see this topic really brought up on any other show in this fashion, and it is the following quote: Red Pine Lake exposed as game dev shows a bait and a switch. Now I'm going to let Mustafa take it away from here, because he is actually a game developer, and we love having game developers on network shows, especially if they're content creators too, because that way we can build a bridge. So Mustafa, why don't you tell everyone, or provide context rather, for this situation?
Yeah. Okay. So I made a video over the weekend. I released a video about the situation with Red Pine Lake. Basically, when everyone started talking about it, it just didn't sound right to me, because they're saying censorship. Like that was the main word that I kept on hearing, censorship, and also some people were saying the game's being censored. Smash JT mentioned before the show that he didn't say that the game was censored, though I did see a lot of people were going with this, and from their social media, a lot of people were saying, hey, we got to fight censorship, and they were basically saying, yeah, we got to fight censorship. So let me I have my notes up.
It's Mustafa, it's all right. It's all right. Okay. Because I brought up, because I typed in, folks, Red Pine Lake on X, and the first thing I saw, I shit you not, was Red Pine Lake responding to our good friend Mustafa. Okay, folks. So let's just say they took it a bit personally. And let me tell you something from my experience as a content creator, and from what my mentor taught me. If you strike a nerve, you've got a fucking point. So why don't you continue, Mustafa, before we
So my video, I made these following points. These were the main points I made in the video. First of all, I stated in the video, I pointed out that the ruling that prevented the game from proceeding with not the game, but the store page from being published was a rule that all capsule art needs to be PG-13. And this is not a new ruling, because a lot of people are saying that this was tied with the MasterCard, Visa, PayPal situation. This has actually been around since at least 2022, maybe longer. I'm not sure, but I was able to find in the developer documents that this rule was there at least since 2022, that all capsule art needs to be PG-13. I also said, after I point this out in the video, I say whether the capsule art is PG-13 or not, I'm not stating it is or isn't. That was never my point. My point was never to say, like, yeah, this is fine, this is PG-13. I never said that, and I made that point clear in my video. The other thing, the rejection was the capsule art due to the guidelines for the store. Every single store, or at least every major store, whether it is Steam, whether it's any other video game store, or even like Amazon, every store has guidelines for the storefront page. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because if we start saying the guidelines for the storefront is the same thing as censoring, it's muddying the definition of censorship. Because
it creates a dangerous. It does create a dangerous precedent. And folks, you may be wondering why would the network stand by community guidelines when the network has a history of setting off community guidelines? Well, let me make it clear to you, ladies and gentlemen, right here, right now. The network, just like our predecessor that got wiped out by YouTube simply because we called a stinking digital prostitute, the network is not afraid to cross lines. Okay? I'm not afraid to cross lines. Neither is my mentor, who has great times crossing lines on Cancel This Podcast. We dare to say the unsayable. We dare to do the undoable. And speaking for this show specifically, every person on this panel could easily host their own network show. So come on, wipe us out. I'll make 4 more. I'm that sort of guy, folks. I really am. But there is no smoke without fire. And I think we have to be very careful not to set dangerous precedents and not to pursue witch hunts, especially when Steam is going to go through a transitional phase, and it could easily turn into another Nintendo, another devil of gaming, if we start muddying the waters like this, because these companies won't give devs and gamers the benefit of the doubt if devs and gamers and content creators muddy the waters and comparing their community policies with that of censorship. And this is coming from someone who hates the idea of community policies, be it on YouTube, Rumble, Steam, Epic. I hate fucking community guidelines, and I have every reason to. So does Jose. He's literally the only creator to ever be censored on Rumble. Not even Nick Fuentes has that fucking distinction. So Jose, what do you make of this whole situation from what you've heard?
Well, here's the thing about it. If you're going to come out and you're going to come out with a game, it's not a AAA game or anything like that, you do have to be very transparent with your audience. You can't just say, oh, I'm being censored if you're not. You have to, basically just be straight about it. If you're saying, look, the community standards are unfair or whatever, that's one thing. But if you're trying to say they're trying to censor us or trying to censor our game and stuff like that, and they're not, like you said, don't create the witch hunt, because also it makes us look bad. We're trying to regain the cultural space. But if we start looking really bad in that space, that gives the people who really are against us a mile. That's why a lot of the infighting, a lot of the fracturing that we've seen has not benefited us, as we've seen a lot of people culturally, sort of attack each other. But we do have to be sort of unified in the front of, let's not, push falsehoods or half truths or anything like that, just to try to get something going on. Because like you said, we could easily prod a company that's sort of in the sensitive spot like Steam is into the other direction, back into the arms of our true enemy. And
I want to make this clear, because I did cover this, I believe, on Thursday on Reigns of Rejects with the 40K Empress, right? We talked about the topic, we covered the situation, and we covered it along the lines of censorship being a bad thing. There's no place for censorship.
Absolutely.
Regardless. But I did find the whole situation very suspicious, especially given the reason for said censorship and how I found it to be basic and tame, right?
Well, yeah. Here's the thing, Digny. It's manufactured outrage can be very fortuitous to a company right now. Look at the Harry Potter Streisand effect. The left sort of goes, oh, we don't like this game because of J.K. Rowling, this and that. And it created a Streisand effect that allowed them to effectively market Harry Potter to everybody else, because everyone else in the cultural aisle said, I'm going to buy this game despite these blue and pink-haired weirdos, right?
Well, you're not the only one to make that narrative argument, Jose, because I know not a lot of people in our community like Spoon, Smash JT most of all, because Spoon has been very critical of him of late.
Yeah.
But Spoon was one of the first creators to tell me how suspicious this whole situation was and how it could have been used as a means of attracting publicity to get an indie project off the ground. It's not unprecedented, folks.
Exactly.
People have got to
Yeah.
make a name for themselves somehow.
You know what? Look. In my day job, Digny, I work in the advertising field. So what I'll say about that is that the one thing that we sort of gloss over as content creators ourselves is that everything we do is a form of free advertising if we, discuss it in these spaces. And a lot of these companies are looking like that. They're not going to try to buy a commercial or an ad campaign. They're going to try to draw up something to get us to talk about them, because that's the most effective way to get word of their product out there now.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, I just there's a couple more points I want to make that I made in my video, just really quick. So, in my video, I mentioned that the enforcement of these rules, are going to be uneven regardless, because humans are going to enforce the rules, especially when you have a rule that says PG-13. And I also mentioned there's a possibility that some of the Valve staff members are they might be more lenient towards adult-only games, because a lot of people on Twitter were pointing out, oh, Steam are hypocrites. I mean, I'm not here to defend Steam or Valve. I don't care if you like them or not. But a lot of people are like, oh, they're hypocrites. Look at all these adult-only games, and they're posting the games with all the nasty, like women with
intercourse with
man
Austrian
body
painter.
parts.
Intercourse with Austrian painter.
Yeah, just whatever. Like all the craziest things. I don't want to get this video taken down, but
11 episodes in, you have nothing to worry about.
My point being is that that there is a possibility that when you check that this game has adult only content, the person that's reviewing it might be like, okay, this is all right, because of the fact that when the game is adult only, it's invisible to everybody unless they have that enabled.
It's a different criteria. Criteria.
That is it might be an unofficial regulation. I don't know. I can't confirm or deny it. I even say that in the video. And but the last point I want to bring up from my video is that their conduct about this whole situation to me comes off as unprofessional. Like with that screenshot that they shared showing, well, first of all, they mainly showed the responses that they were getting, and only one of the response that they shown had their own write-up. And when you read it, it had all these buzzwords, and I point out all the buzzwords, and it was written as if they were trying to have a viral post, like they were trying to get people riled up and excited that we're anti.
It's narrative control.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
they could have done this more professionally, because a Steam page rejection, a storefront rejection, is very common. You don't have only one chance. You can resubmit. You can try to make changes. They could have asked, be like, hey, what changes can we make to have this pass? Or they can, what they ended up doing was ask for another person, which that worked. They could have done that earlier. They could have asked for a supervisor. Like, there's so many more professional ways than for them sending us big speech about how they are anti-censorship and they have a diverse team and this and that. Like, none of these things matter. Like, you're doing business with Valve, you have to act professionally with your business partner, and that was one of my major points in the video.
Well, folks, it's not unprecedented for someone to build a narrative to gain sympathy. I mean, look at John De La Rose and his books. Quite simply, folks, this is a man. He's a textbook example of someone who can masterfully weave a narrative and double down on that narrative, right? I'm not saying we're seeing a similar case here. I'm saying there's no smoke without fire. Okay? As a content creator, I'm not a game developer. I'm a content creator. And when you try to build a narrative that appeals to content creation, not on YouTube, but in this case on X, to try and make yourself a topic of the day, you see the signs, right?
Mhm.
You see the signs. Are you content creator first, developer second, or are you developer first, content creator second? Sorry to say this, Mustafa, but most good game devs are not good content creators. Look at David Jaff. Okay? This is a guy who was I wouldn't say the mastermind, but he was one of the forerunners for the development of God of War, Twisted Metal, among other projects. His legacy should have guaranteed him success in content creation, but no. Let me shill weed instead of Blue Chew. Okay? Always shill Viagra, folks, especially on Rumble. But I will point out right here, right now, that I do find this situation to be suspicious. And there's nothing wrong with saying it's suspicious. Lots of things in content creation and games development are suspicious. Having a secret conversation with one of your colleagues one-to-one can be construed as suspicious. And trying to put the hammer down on someone who's questioning your bloody narrative is a bit suspicious as well. So that's all I'm saying and stating in this effect. And if that strikes a nerve, well, that's going to make me even more suspicious. And not just me, but my colleagues and my contacts. I know I only have a couple of hundred subs, folks, but I used to be a real boy. I used to be, Pinocchio, real boy. And I still have those connections. Dez, I know you've been very quiet. He's always very shy doing this. What do you make of everything you've heard so far?
We just have to make sure that we keep our battles objective, or at least try to. So if the studio didn't actually get censored, then just making a whole song and dance about it online, being all like, oh, we'll go down with the censorship if we have to. Oh, we'll fight, is not just stupid, but it's also harmful. When it comes to fighting when it actually happens.
Well, I'll tell you this, Des. This whole mindset and narrative of, we survive Steam so we can survive you. It's like, yeah, you're just making this all the more suspicious.
It also seems fake because I'm a bit skeptical in nature about stuff like this. So it's obvious that if, this bumped them up in relevance, and I don't believe that they would actually let their game go down the river if it wasn't allowed. I think they would just make whatever change they have to do and just get the game out. If not now, because the game is weak or whatever, then just wait until they're big enough to do so. Like the studio behind that other FPS game that also became a hot topic earlier this year, Ready or Not, the body cam game, they were also very anti-this and anti-that and Creative Vision this and all that in the beginning. But then in the end, they made a lot of money, and the ESRB or Sony or whatever, they put their balls on the table. They said, these things here have to be changed, and they didn't fight it. Even though the things that they had to change were already in other games. They didn't fight it, they just changed it and moved on and put the game out there. So yeah, I don't know, it just felt a little bit performative. And I understand as an entertainment or a game developer trying to ride a wave and use it to get more eyes on you is good. And I saw some of it as well. I saw some of it where they were like, oh, we stand by women's rights to wear whatever they want. But it's like, sure, but if you're being disingenuous and you're damaging a cause that is far bigger than you, that's irresponsible, and you should just, I don't know, ride a lower wave.
I'll tell you this, folks, right? Jose, stop shooing your attractive 73-year-old mother away. Bring her on the screen, all right?
Digny wants to see her.
I want to get a good look at her, especially a nice curvature. But
now she looks like Mrs. Doubtfire, and by Mrs. Doubtfire, I mean she looks like Robin Williams today.
Don't sell it even further. He's already sold.
Elzo, you were going to say something while Des was
about that situation, the whole situation, because I did a video on that topic when it first arrived, before Sabr had his video, and I was one of the persons who actually jumped on the side of the developers because I'm someone in nature who hates, like, when I have a vision and when I saw the replies, and one of the replies of Steam was called out that it was fake, and then the person who called it out retracted that statement themselves, that they confirmed for themselves or through some ways that it was actually factual. So whether or not then I saw what their whole exchange with Mustafa, and it actually made me a bit like laugh a little bit, because it's completely unprofessional behavior in that case. Like how they wrote it, the way they worded it, the way they were very, for lack of a better word, bitchy about it, and I do want to believe that they didn't do it, at least if they did something, they didn't do it intentionally, because what they were always jumping on a lot of people's comments and stuff like that. They were very communicative, and as Mustafa says, Smash JT did say that they had a chat they were very open, and this is bringing me to something that I think needs to be done on that situation if we're ever to hope to find the definitive answer. I think that in these situations there needs to be a stream conversation and needs to happen to have everything on the open. This is something that I think needs to be sorry that I'm using these words, normalized, because we can have
Woke.
I think
He's woke.
we're
Helzo's
normal enough.
woke. You'd have a better chance of getting Ben
I've been
Shapiro and Nick Fuentes to collaborate with
Sweet
one
baby
another.
got him. No,
I've been out. Shit. But I think we're all intelligent enough to hold a conversation better than what happened a few weeks ago on Smash JT's channel, or even before that with JDA. I think we can hold a decent conversation. We can ask the right questions, especially if you have an opposing opinion. And I think that if a setup that is inviting and proving to be a normal setup, not a hostile setup, not some elaborate trap to say, yeah, we're here to call you out publicly. No, we in search of the truth and in search of the definitive truth, I think something like this needs to happen, and then they can be like, in terms of voice, in terms of what they say live, they can defend their position for those people, and they can actually bring out the entire story, because everybody knows when you're writing something, when you're doing text, you don't always know what the tone is.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Helzo. I know we're pressed for time, folks, but I'd just like to make it clear, as far as I'm aware, I'm the only creator on this panel to be in a situation where you go toe-to-toe with the opposition over, a controversy, a hot topic of the day. And I will tell you right here, right now, that if you don't come out swinging, you will get fucking obliterated by the opposition and by your own side. So I think it's very important to understand the mindset of, I want that discourse to exist, Helzo. I also want it to be raining cola, but it's not going to happen. It's a high-minded ideal, not reality-based. Go ahead, Mustafa.
Yeah. So in regards to the having a conversation about this, they've left me a comment, and I asked them. I was like, well, first of all, they called me sexist, which I never said anything about the sex or gender of any of them. They called me what else they said? They said the video is full of falsehoods. I asked for timestamps and quotes as to why I said it's incorrect. And what was the other thing? They were talking about I can't remember the last thing they said in the quote, but yeah. So
that's enough red flags right there, Mustafa.
Yeah.
You don't need to add any more.
Yeah, like
I remember
the moment
now.
they called you sexist, that was that's a very turning point.
So in my
That
video,
makes it sound.
so I have my own morals. I have my own standards for my videos. I don't want to show suggestive themes in my own videos. I'm going to stay, solid with that. I'm not going to make any exceptions. So I blurred out the butt in my video. And they say because I blurred that out, that is proof that I am pro censorship, that it's neither here or there. I have my own kids. I know in the future they're going to watch my own videos in the future. I have I've done teaching. So I know like teenagers and kids, they know about my video games. They know about in my YouTube channel. I don't want to show certain things on my videos if I know kids are watching my videos. So, it's not neither here or there as far as like me blurring out the butt on my own video. Like that's not proof that I'm pro censorship. Like
Hey, look,
they have
reality-
not even
look,
addressed the points that I made.
Well, I'll tell you this, right? Because you guys all know our show predecessor, Reality Based, right?
Mhm.
We're completely open, completely honest, completely transparent, a free for all for people to speak their minds. And look what happened: crashed, burned, blew up, got wiped out. So I would, before we end the show, I'd like to really thank our mods for eliminating obstructionists who seek to annihilate everything we are building. The JDAs of the world. Smile to your face, sharpen a sword behind your back, and no, it's not made of metal, it's made of flesh. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we've just hit the 2-hour mark, and now it's time for some future plans. I know we've gone slightly over, but that's not a problem, folks. We've got 4 network shows, we've got a central hub for all the network videos, and we also have 2 additional network shows coming over the next few weeks. The Hydra is growing, ladies and gentlemen. I can only hope that one head doesn't try to eat the rest. So what about you, Mustafa? What are your future plans?
My plan, I'm trying to get back to development on my game, Beware Tomorrow, which is a first-person stealth horror game. Has some puzzle elements to it. It's been on hold for a while because life's been rough with the jobs, and game development doesn't pay the bills right now. So I'm trying to get back to the routine of like working like an hour a day to get that back on track. Other than that, aside from my schedule being really busy, I've been able to get like a video a week on my channel, which is Sabr Path, SABRPATH. So I talk about issues with the game industry, like these type of topics, issues that I find with narrative, character development, characters that are not universally connectable because of the fact that they focus too much on nonsense that no one cares about. Those type of topics. So that's basically what I've been I'm trying to work on right now.
Good. Well, hopefully, here's a piece of advice, Mustafa, to get people to support your project. Extort your viewership for money, because you need money to make a game project succeed. Just make sure you actually release the fucking thing. What about you? Because that is important. What about you, Jose? What are your future plans?
Well, imminently, my girlfriend will be here, so I'll be not streaming tonight. Usually I would be streaming MMO Monday, a little Final Fantasy 14, because now that Square Enix has fired a bunch of the blue hairs, I feel like I can confidently log in again, because I'm sure that a lot of the LG TVs are having a meltdown in that game, and they've probably quit the game. And Dragon Quest X, which you have to go through many, many barriers to actually play in the United States. It has gate-kept itself from the blue and pink hairs, which is wonderful. But not tonight. Now, tomorrow, we've got, hopefully, a special guest lined up on my co-host John's Happy Hour show on the Kansas Podcast channel, which is on Rumble. We are too crude for YouTube. We are too raunchy for Rumble, but somehow we find a way. Of course, John and co-host, the mentor of Digny, will be there as well. Yes, Lord Voldemort. And I might actually make an appearance if everything goes well, because we're supposed to be talking to This Is the Ray from Rumble. He is what I would consider if Rumble created their own content creator from the ground up in a lab with all sorts of genetics and had a guy who just lived, breathed, drank, and ate Rumble and then vomited it back out at the populace. It would be Ray and his press kit. So we'll be hopefully having a conversation with him tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. If everything goes well, I may have to rely on my other cohorts to make sure to get everything sort of finalized, because I will be knee deep in woman a little bit later. So
Good.
I will be indisposed for the rest of the day after this.
Good, very good, very good. Imagine having a press kit. I mean, come on,
It's
people.
laminated.
Oh my goodness! But hey, Des, did you send me your press kit before today's show? I'm sorry, man.
I've been trying to get one. I've been trying to get a jokey one because I see developers sometimes they post hey, we're going to be releasing the game, okay? If you're a content creator, da 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 da. And there's a lot of people in the comments with really gay press kits, and I've been thinking about making my own, but pack it with memes and shit.
I'm
Big
sorry,
Nate's gonna
folks.
start
I,
requesting
I-
him from his new network cohorts. Is what's gonna happen.
Right. Okay, folks, I hate YouTube with a passion, but if I ever give you a press kit, shoot me square in the eyes.
I'm gonna make one for you as well.
Just shoot me. Just shoot me. What about you, Des? What are your future plans apart from building your own press kit to shill yourself and be a pimp, or not pimp, be a hoe for Rumble and other platforms?
Oh, just the usual. You know, I make a couple of videos here and there. I gotta finish The Outer Worlds 2 and Bloodlines 2 so that I can make videos on those. But it's been really tough. They're terrible. I play a little bit and I'm like, with a headache immediately, just feeling like switching games. So, but I will be talking about something else soon. I think I'll make a video soon on this thing about The Outer Worlds failing. There's been some stuff about it having to relate with see if I can remember off the top of my head. Oversaturation in the games industry. So I might make a video about that because it's not exactly the problem. It's a issue, but The Outer Worlds 2 is just ass. If your game is not ass, it will sell.
Des, we talked about this before. In order to be a culture war grifter, you need to talk about the games first, then play them.
God
Okay.
damn it, I forgot.
You're a braver man than I to put yourself through the Outer Worlds too, man.
Hey, look.
I genuinely thought that it was going to be okay. Well,
From the makers of Fallout New Vegas, but they're all dead or retired, comes
You know, I thought
The Outer Worlds 2. Fuck you.
Avowed was really bad, right? But I thought, okay, so here's the deal. I figured it out. They're releasing Avowed in February, and they're releasing Outer Worlds 2 in October. That means that they have two teams. So the retards must be on the Avowed team, and the OK team must be on the Outer World. Nope. No, it's pretty bad. That's the whole thing. I mean, the game is so ugly. It made, like, you know, the guy who complained about Elon Musk and Grumps
Oh yeah.
from Obsidian. Yeah, like Avowed was ugly, and now I'm playing this game, and it's so ugly too. And I'm wondering, did he direct both games? Is he the art director for both? Oh my god!
Well, Des,
It's always
I'll
one of
tell
those
you this.
suspenders.
You know, I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this, guys. Outer Worlds 2 Avowed. They look like Bethesda games. That's how far
Worse.
Obsidian has fallen. Oh, but what about you, Helzo? What are your future plans as everyone leaves the show?
Yeah, dude. So
All
you guys
around me
will hear
are
what I have to,
familiar
what am I having
faces.
for my future plans. I'll be making as many videos as I can this week on current topics. We'll see what's popping up, and I also have some things that I want to talk about that are a bit older, but they're very into my things that I want to share. This weekend I will not be streaming. I started Siberia 2 after finishing the remaster of Siberia 1. It's handling pretty well. It's again, I cannot just promote this series enough. Everyone who likes even a bit of quest games and clockpunk and steampunk style aesthetics should play these games, especially the remaster of Siberia. But I will not be streaming this week. I will be taking a bit of a break, and also because me and my band are preparing for a live concert in December, I will need to focus on that, rehearsals, preparations, and stuff like that. But next week, starting next week, there's going to be some temporary boost changes, more content, more different content, and also some announcements that I'll be making that I think some people are going to like a lot.
Excellent, most excellent. And in regards to my future plans, ladies and gentlemen, as I made everyone aware yesterday in the second episode of the Network Assembles, the acceleration plan is go, go, go. The network will be expanding to include 2 more shows, a Saturday show hosted by Stark of Iron, which will be at midnight UK, 7 p.m. Eastern. That will start this Saturday, as well as another network show, which will be officially hosted by Lord Triton and his Ravencast community, which won't be this Sunday. It'll be next Sunday once he organizes that. And then we will have 6 network shows and 1 central hub. And as Cancel This podcast embraces StreamYard, my mentor has not been in the best of health recently. So after he has a good talk with This Is the Ray, by which I mean he sits back while Alki John tears him a new asshole. After that, you may see me on Jose's show in the future. I know Cancel This podcast is like, we don't want to be on YouTube, but let's at least see how well a few of their videos would do if they were on YouTube. The most moderate parts, because Jose could run a network show. Everyone on this panel who's been on this panel can easily run a network show.
Digby,
And
I just sent you my press kit.
Oh, damn. And no one, I can't say the same for the rest of the network shows. I love System Crash. I love Old White Road. But in all honesty, I wouldn't trust the cartoons to run their own show. I'm sorry, Dash. You still need a bit of work.
So you don't trust yourself?
Well, in fairness, I'm a picture. They're cartoons. In regards to Wednesday's show, Noise can carry any show he does, right? But that's one hell of a burden for one guy to hold. So I want to help as well. But I think Mondays and Thursdays are doing very well and operating very independently now. And that's why we're expanding the network to include more shows. So expect more videos from more shows as the network accelerates forward. And who knows, you might see me on a big show in the future. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching the 11th episode of Discuss Things Tangent Kings. Fingers crossed it's the most successful of them, because otherwise my narrative of Mondays and Thursdays being the best and Wednesdays and Fridays not being as good, that narrative falls apart. So please check out this show. In fact, check out all of our network shows, because they're full of top quality talent. And Lilith. So Discuss Thing, why don't you end today's show?
I will most certainly do. Thank you very much all for being here first to the panel. Thank you for joining to our guests. Every time you want to do it, every time is good. I am very happy to have great people and to continue to meet great people. It's just amazing because it actually gives me a little bit of hope for this world, as funny as it may sound. I also want to thank to everyone in the chat. I want to thank for the mods for doing a little bit of overtime at the end of the stream today. And I also want to thank a special thanks to everyone who donated. I want to thank for the super chats, for the memberships. It was amazing. Again, I do this thing for 2 reasons: to become full-time and do this as my job, and also to help homeless animals and animals in shelters, because I can tell you one thing as a Bulgarian, they need it. Especially here, they need it a lot.
I'm sorry to start laughing, but Jose has sent me something that I cannot share. But it is fucking hilarious.
It's the press kit.
Oh my goodness. Send that as a goddamn press kit to every one of those Rumble cultist cocksuckers. And we can say this on YouTube and they'll actually promote us. Those Rumble cultist cocksuckers. You will never see the
stream is getting 1 million views.
Yeah. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and no other degenerate groups. Bye for now, folks.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers.
Thanks for having me on.
Yep.
Bye bye.